Greetings everyone. Let us start with a new topic, subject-verb agreement. During the presentation, we will be seeing as to what is exactly subject-verb agreement and why do we require it at all. What is this agreement that we are talking about? What is the subject and what exactly is a verb? Subject-verb agreement means that in any sentence, the subject has to agree with the verb. Now there are three words here, subject, verb and agreement. Whenever we talk of a sentence, we usually talk of active sentences. Active sentence whose structure is that first we would be having a subject followed by the verb and then the object. Subject is the doer of the action, verb is the main action that we're talking about, and object is the person who is receiving that action. It is not a mandate and necessity that we have to have an object in the sentence, in the active sentences. If we have only a subject and a verb, that again, that particular sentence can be termed as an active sentence. But wherever we talk of passive sentences, then it is necessary that we have an object in the sentence. So talking of the normal sentences, the regular sentences that we have, the most occurring kind of sentences that we use, the structure would be subject first, that is the doer of the action, followed by the action and then the object to receive that action that the subject is doing. Now, this subject and the verb, which are essential part of any active sentence, they need to agree with each other. This agreement means that whenever your subject is singular, the verb also has to be singular. And when the subject is plural, the verb that follows the subject also has to be plural always. Let us have a look at the sentences here. Neither Alex nor Peter is here. Neither Alex nor Peter are here. Which of the sentence is correct? Now we say that whenever your subject is singular, the verb has to be singular. So neither Alex nor Peter. Whenever we use the pairs like neither nor, either or, we only mean that we are only talking of one entity at a time. That means it's a singular entity here. Alex is singular, Peter also is singular. With the singular subject, we will always be having a singular verb. That means of the verbs is and are, we'll be using is because is a singular verb wherein are is used with the plural. So neither Alex nor Peter is here will be the correct statement. Likewise, for example, are you the new English teacher? Yes, I are. So with I, it has to be I am, singular. So in order to make grammatically correct sentences, the subject must agree with the verb, or the verb must agree with the subject. Now, whenever we are saying that it has to be a singular noun and a singular verb, and then plural noun and a plural noun verb, how do we make them? To make a plural noun, a noun that is plural, we add an S or an ES or IES. Depending upon what kind of a word we have, we will be then making a plural noun of the singular noun. For example, singular will be girl, plural of the girl word will be girls. To make a verb plural, usually we only will have nouns that can be made singular and plural. But then to use the verbs in the plural forms, we may have to take away that X if we are talking of plural. For example, talks is plural. It has an S at the end, so it is a singular verb, sorry. So talks is a singular verb. The moment I take away this S from here, it will be they talk. So with they, which is plural subject, talk will be again, it's a plural verb. You've taken away the S. So noun and verbs in this context will go opposite. Nouns will be made to plural by adding an S. Verbs will be made to plural by removing the S. As an example, we'll have to watch the verbs here. I walk, we walk. With the word I usually will take the plural form of verb. You walk because again, You can be is a word that can be used as singular and plural both. Therefore, you also will have a plural verb always. He, she, it. Because these are always and always singular, they will always be using a singular verb. Joe walks, the girl walks. For the plural, it will be Joe and Maria walk, the girls walk. So, when we talk of singular subject like Joe and the girl, we will be talking of singular verb which is walks. And when we talk of plural, Joe and Maria now become two. Therefore, we are talking of two people. So it will be a plural verb. Therefore, it will be walk and not walks. So to remember the how to make the plural or singular of the subject and the verb, the thumb rule says that if the subject doesn't end in s, the verb will be ending in s. Likewise, if the subject does end in s, the verb won't. So while you're writing it, they will go opposite, but they will be in agreement with each other. Like for instance, the girl dances. So the subject girl here doesn't end in s. Therefore, the verb will end in s. So it is dances. Likewise, the girls danced. So the subject is ending in S. Therefore, the verb will not be ending in S. So it will be the girls dance. Having talked of these things, now the thing that is very clear to us is that the subject and the verb would agree when you have a singular subject and a singular verb in the sentence, and the plural subject will always be followed by the plural verb. So that happens to be the basic rule of subject-verb agreement. When will you say that the subject and the verb are agreeing? Only when you have a singular subject with singular verb and plural subject with plural verb. Let us discuss some more rules that will make it easier for you to use the plural or the singular words in a sentence. Two or more singular subjects connected by the word and usually take a verb in the plural. Now, two or more singular subjects means the two subjects that we are having. These are both the subjects that you have. These are singular subjects, one entity at one time. And then if you're joining two or more such subjects using the word and, it will be using a plural verb. Now because one thing, for example, Hermione and Ron are friends. So one entity is Hermione. Ron is another. So Hermione and Ron. Adding the word add in between them, now you have from one subject and one subject, you've put them as two. Therefore, because the subjects are plural now, therefore the verb that we use will be plural. Therefore, are. Hermione and Ron are friends. Next rule says that if two singular nouns refer to the same person or thing, the verb must be singular. What does this mean? This means that though you have two singular nouns, they would be then joined by the word and, but they are referring to one common entity. These are not two different things or people. It is only one thing or one person that we are talking of using two words. So if such thing be in the sentence, you will be using a singular verb, because no matter you've used multiple words, but then they're only pointing out at one. Therefore, a singular verb. For example, Padfoot and Snuffles was Harry's godfather. So who was Padfoot? It was Sirius Black. Who was Snuffles? That again was Sirius Black. So there were two names that were given to Sirius Black other than his own name, which is Sirius Black. Padfoot and Snuffles. So Padfoot and Snuffles was Harry's godfather. So we have one singular noun, which is Padfoot, another singular noun, that is Snuffles. Both the singular nouns have been joined using the word and, but they are not two different people. They are one. These two names refer to one single person, which is Sirius Black. Therefore, we'll say that Padfoot and Snuffles was Harry's godfather. My teacher and coordinator is Miss Allie. My teacher is one person. Coordinator, class coordinator is another person. But the moment we're saying that my teacher and class coordinator without using the word the before the second singular noun. It means that the two words here, teacher and the class coordinator, they're same. They are pointing out at one person. There is Miss Ali, who's your class coordinator. Also, she is the one who teaches you. So therefore, we're talking in general of one person. My teacher and my class coordinator. My teacher and class coordinator. The moment I put it as the teacher and the class coordinator, now I am talking of two different people, because I have put that extra the here. My teacher and the class coordinator. So here again I have put that and. The moment I am putting that the, article the, which is a definite article, it would mean that now the noun before which you're adding the word the definite article the, this is some other entity, and the noun that is written before the word and was some other. So had it been my teacher and the class coordinator, in that case we would have put it as are, and then we would have definitely changed it to Miss Ali and Miss Avram respectively. So my teacher is Miss Ali and class coordinator is Miss Avram. So likewise, if you do not have the usage of the article the before the second noun or the subject that you have, in that case, both the words that are used, which are joined by the word and, will be referring to a single person. The poet and critic has been honored. Poet and critic, now it says the poet and critic. We do not have the application of the word the before the word critic. Therefore, it suggests that we're talking of only one person who was poet and a critic as well. So poet and critic happen to be one person, therefore it is has and not have. Had it been the poet and the critic, we would have put it as the poet and the critic have been honored. In that case, we would be pointing out at two different people. The rule says that if two subjects together express one idea, the two subjects that we're talking, these are singular subjects. They are again joined by the word and. But they are referring to or they are expressing one common idea. In that case, again, because the two words that we are using joined by the word and are referring to one common thing, idea, therefore the verb that it takes will be singular. Bread and butter is essential for life. We will never put it as bread and butter are essential for life, because bread and butter, these are not two different entities here. If you go by the meaning, the literal meaning, yes, bread is something different and butter is something different. But here, bread and butter does not mean that in order to live and to sustain and to survive, you need to have bread and butter. No, it does not mean that. It means that bread and butter taken as one, that is means of livelihood. So, bread and butter is essential for life means that is the means of livelihood. If you won't eat, you won't survive. So it is referring to livelihood, which is one thing. Therefore, bread and butter will be taken as one is essential for life. Maybe the second example, the horse and the carriage is at the door. Now, here, the horse and the carriage. The horse is one entity. The carriage is another entity. And in the previous rule, we discussed that the moment we are adding the before the second noun that we have, then it will make it as a different entity. But here, the horse and the carriage, these are not two different things. If you talk of individuality, in that case, yes, the horse is different and the carriage is different. But here we are talking of one entity. Horse and carriage combine to make a vehicle, a means of transport. Therefore, here we are using the word is along with the horse and the carriage and not are. Likewise, for example, if I have a statement that says Rajma and rice dash my favorite. Rajma and rice dash my favorite. So Rajma and rice, I'm not talking of Rajma separately and rice separately. I'm talking of a dish. So if I put it as Rajma and rice dash my favorite dish. So dish is a singular entity. Rajma and rice, they're talking of one dish, one idea, one thing, and not pointing out at two different things. Therefore, Rajma and rice is my favorite dish. So whenever you have two singular nouns being joined by the word and, but these two singular nouns are pointing out at one common thing, idea, or a person, in that case always we'll be taking the verb which is singular with them. Now the rule says that if any of the following indefinite pronouns would mean that the words that do not give you any clarity of number or weight. It is some random kind of word that will not be telling you about how many things or people that you're talking about. It will not give you any crisp information about the noun that you're replacing. So if any of the following indefinite pronouns is the subject, the verb is singular. Which all kind of indefinite pronouns? The pronouns like everybody, each, no one, another, anybody, nobody, every, nothing, everything, anyone, either, neither, everyone, somebody, or something. Now here what you need to notice is we are using the word either and neither only. We are not using the pair. It is only either as subject or neither as subject. Let us have a look at the sentences. Each girl and boy in this class is a student. So each, it is a each is an indefinite pronoun. It is used as a subject phrase, each girl and boy. So each girl and boy means we are talking of one individual at a time. In this class is a student, a singular verb. Likewise, every man and woman in a family is responsible for the upbringing of the child. Every man and woman. Again, we are talking of one person at a time. Every man and woman is responsible. Everyone has done the assignment. Everyone have will never be used. It will be everyone has done the assignment. Nobody ever goes to see her. Either situation is fruitful. So whenever you have any such word, any such indefinite pronoun, they will be followed by a singular verb. And when we have the pairs like either or, neither or, again, if the subjects are singular, we'll be using a singular verb along with them. Either Snape or Sirius was killed by Bellatrix. So either Snape or Sirius would mean that only one of these two was killed by Bellatrix. So either Snape or Sirius. Now yes, for the Harry Potter fans, we know that Sirius Black was killed by Bellatrix. So therefore, either Snape or Sirius. Ya Snape, ya Sirius, because we are only talking of one entity, therefore the verb will be singular, was killed. Neither Neville Longbottom nor Parvati Patil was in Slytherin house. Again, we are trying to say that nahi Neville Longbottom, na Parvati Patil. Both the people that are in the sentence, they were not in the Slytherin house because they were in, again, for the Harry Potter fans, it will be kind of a quiz for you people. So these two were in Gryffindor. So neither Neville Longbottom nor Parvati Patil was in Slytherin house. Was singular verb along with the usage when the subjects that are joined by pair either or, neither nor are singular. The next rule says that the pronoun you always takes a plural verb. The pronoun you. You are the boy who lived, Hagrid said to Harry. You sing so well. So you are. You is the pronoun. Are is the plural verb. You is again a pronoun. Sing is a plural verb. You are asked to clean the room. Again, you and are. So whenever you have the word you, no matter in which tense you're using it, you will always be using the plural verb along with the verb, with the word you. The next rule says that if a sentence begins with here or there, the verb agrees with the subject which follows it. What does this mean? You will have the words like here and there in the sentence. The moment your sentence is beginning with the two words, either of the two, in that case, the verb will agree with the subject that follows. There is a huge gap between the rich and the poor. So there is the huge gap. The subject that follows the word there is gap. Therefore, this verb that we use will be is. The verb agrees with the subject which follows it, means comes after it. So after the word is the word gap. Gap is a singular noun, therefore we'll be using a singular verb. Here are the ways on how to preserve meat. Here are the ways. Ways, plural, therefore a plural verb are. Here are the ways. Or there are all kinds of courage, said Dumbledore, smiling. There are all kinds of courage. Kinds of courage. We're talking of multiple categories of courage word here. Therefore, there are all kinds of courage, said Dumbledore, smiling. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. So here, the word are is used because we have a noun which is kinds that is following the verb. So the moment you have the noun which is plural, you will be having are. The noun that is singular, you'll be having is after the words here and there. And this rule is only applicable when the sentence starts or begins with the word here or there. Next rule says that a singular subject followed by intervening words or phrases such as with, as well as, in addition to, accompanied by, together with, along with, and no less than takes a singular verb. What does this mean? Intervening words mean that these are parenthetical words. Parenthetical means that you can ignore them. They have just been put in the sentence so as to give more clarity. They do not play the role of the subject here. They're just kind of words that are giving more clarity and nothing else. So parenthetical means you can put them within the brackets, in the parenthesis. What all things will you be putting in the parenthesis? The words like these that are written with as well as in addition to, accompanied by, together with, along with, and no less than, and then the subject that follows as well. And then will you be seeing that if the subject that is put before these words if it is singular, it will be using a singular verb. If it is a plural word, in that case it will be using a plural verb. For example, Remus Lupin along with Draco Malfoy. Now to listen to this, we may have an impression that we are talking of two singular nouns joined by the word along with. But because we are saying that along with is a parenthetical word, it is an intervening word, it is only trying to give you more meaning of a sentence wherein the subject that follows these words will never be treated as a subject. Therefore, if I put them within the brackets, it will be Remus Lupin along with Draco Malfoy was a part of the movie The Prisoner of Azkaban. So what I have done is putting these things within the bracket would mean that I now only have a sentence that says Remus Lupin was a part of the movie The Prisoner of the Azkaban. This means this. So Remus Lupin, I'm putting a bracket here along with Draco Malfoy, which is the second subject. My parenthesis, I'm so sorry for the shape of the parenthesis. So Remus Lupin, because these are parenthetical words, therefore I've put them the word along with the subject that follows these words. These will be put within the parenthesis, and then the sentence would only read as Remus Lupin was a part of the movie The Prisoner of Azkaban. So Remus Lupin was and never were. Likewise, Voldemort as well as, so as well as his followers. So here I have a plural second subject. The first subject is Voldemort. The second subject is followers. So it's a plural subject, but this plural subject is following the intervening words or phrases, that is as well as. So because this is a parenthetical word, therefore you will be starting your parenthesis before as well as, closing it after the subject followers. So we are only left with Voldemort was killed at the end. Had it been the followers of Voldemort as well as he himself dash killed at the end, the followers of Voldemort as well as he himself was killed at the end. In that case, now because we have as well as he himself, so as well as he himself will be put in the parenthesis. We only will be having the followers of Voldemort. So followers is a plural verb, the plural noun, therefore the verb that follows will be the followers of Voldemort were killed at the end. So this is how we'll be using a singular verb with a singular subject, plural verb with the plural subject, wherein condition one is we're using any of these intervening words that which are also called as parenthetical words. And here the very important rule says that you will have to ignore the second subject, and no matter what the number of that subject be, if it is singular, if it is plural, it would not make a difference to the sentence. We will only be having a look at the subject that is placed before these particular words. If you have these kind of sentences, in that case, it will be with the singular subject placed before the word, along with, as well as, in addition to, accompanied by, etc. With, if the first subject is singular, so subject means here this Remus Lupin is one subject. This is subject 1. And then Draco Malfoy is another subject, which is subject 2. Similarly, Voldemort is subject 1 and followers, his followers is subject 2. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to say that whenever we have the word like along with, and in this case it is as well as. So whenever you have the usage of the words along with and as well as, no matter what number of subject follows, for the first sentence it is singular, Draco Malfoy is one single boy and his followers happen to be plural. No matter what the second subject be, the verb that follows, the verb that follows is this. This was, and maybe I'll have to change the color of my highlighter. It's this. So this was and this, oh my goodness, I've ruined it more. So, so this was and this was will only be going by the first subject, which is in both the cases singular. So with the singular subject will go the singular verb. With the plural subject will be going a plural verb. So likewise, if I have a sentence that says the president followed by the members of parliament, the president followed by the members of parliament was invited to the US. Or maybe I'll have to change my sentence because I'm using followed by. So the president followed by or accompanied by, sorry, not followed by, but yes, accompanied by, the president accompanied by the members of parliament is going to the US. The president is accompanied by the members of parliament. Now accompanied by is an intervening word. Because it is an intervening word, we'll be putting it within the parenthesis. So we'll put we'll be putting a parenthesis before the word accompanied by. So it will be the president, parenthesis begins, accompanied by the members of parliament, which is a plural verb, bracket close, is going to the US. So is for the president. The members of the parliament in addition to the president. The members of the parliament in addition to the president are going to the US. So now in addition to, I will put a bracket before in addition to and close it after the president, the second subject. So the sentence will be the members of the parliament are going, because we're talking of multiple people, members. So whenever you have any such words in a sentence, you will have to remember that these are parenthetical words. They have to be put within the parenthesis along with the subject that they have, the subject that follows these words. So once you've put them in the bracket within the parenthesis, then you will only be considering the first subject for using the verb. The first subject is singular, the verb will be singular. The first subject is plural, the verb will be plural. Let us quickly practice a few sentences. He talk or talks quietly. So he is a singular verb, therefore we'll be using talks. He talks quietly. So this will be the correct word here. He talks quietly. They dash their assigned books. So they read their assigned books or they reads. Because your noun is not ending with an S, therefore the verb will. That was the rule. But that was for the singular noun. So here they is a plural noun. Therefore the verb that you use will not be ending with an S. Therefore it is they read their assigned books. Kim go or Kim goes to the office, to the coffee shop every weekend. Kim dash to the coffee shop every weekend. So Kim is a singular person. Therefore we'll be having a verb that is using S. Goes. Kim goes to the coffee shop every weekend. We write or we writes letters. Excuse me. So here we is a plural word. Therefore, it will be followed by a plural verb. And plural verb is something that does not have the usage of S. Therefore, it will be this. We write. And then Ian sings well or Ian sing well. Ian is singular noun, one subject. Therefore, it will be sings well. Ian sings well. Let us very quickly have a look at some more sentences. A car and a bike dash my means of transportation. A car and a bike. Now, because we're talking of two singular subjects being joined by the word and, therefore are my means of transportation. The dog and the cat. Now, the dog and the cat, two different entities, run around the house. Run and not runs, because S ending verb will be treated as singular. Kim and I are free time reading books. Kim and I dash our free time reading books. So there are two people again. How do they spend their time? By reading books. Because we are talking of two people, therefore it will be spend and not spends. The teacher and the students, again, the teacher and the students, plural, were able to present something last Mufti day. And the math book and the notebook, book and the notebook, dash information about the lesson, provide. The math book and the notebook provide information about the lesson. This should be all for this lecture. We'll be continuing with some further rules apart from the rules that we've already discussed in the next lecture. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've understood the details and the intricacies of subject-verb agreement, the rules that have been discussed so far. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead.